All right, I want to do some example and sample problems with you on section 6.4. So let me go ahead and pull that up real quick. In section 6.4, we're going to be talking about, let's see, 6.4, solving radical equations, or equations with radicals in them. All right, so the idea is this. If I told you that the square root of x, okay, equals 4. Right, the square root of some number equals 4. We know that number is that x equals 16. Why do we know this x equals 16? Because the square root of 16 is 4. However, off the bat, when we're solving these equations, we don't necessarily know that. So what do? Well, what is the opposite of um, square root? Right? What's the opposite of square root? What's the opposite of x squared, the square root of x? Well, the opposite of the square root is x squared. So to get rid of this square root, we're going to use x squared. Okay? So how do we solve this problem? You square both sides. When you do that, it gets rid of the root, you end up with just x. And over here, you end up with 4 squared, which is 16. So let's do some problems together. Let's say we had sort of x minus 3 plus 5 equals 6 or something like that. First thing you're going to do, subtract 5 from both sides. So first thing we did, we subtracted 5 from both sides. Why? Because we're trying to get x by itself. Right? We're trying to get x by itself. We're trying to isolate the variable. Okay? Subtract 5, and it was square root of x minus 3 equals 1. Then we've got the square root, symbol on one side and 1 on the other. Only square both sides if you have this setup, or get as close to the setup as you possibly can. Square both sides, even up with x minus 3 equals 1. We then add 3 to both sides, and you end up with x equals 4. All right, so that's that. Let's do another one. Of course, we can go back and check to make sure this is correct. So remember, we had x minus 3 plus 5 equals 6. And we found that x is equal to 4. So let's plug it in and find out. We have 4 minus 3 plus 5 equals 6. This is square root of 1 plus 5 equals 6. Therefore, 1 plus 5 equals 6. It checks out. So that was just the check. Just wanted to check. All right. That's that general idea.